Hello. Look at all these people who are already here.
Hold on, I gotta go to comments. I always forget to do this. Oh, there's a lot of people here.
I'm telling you, I saw them popping up as we were talking. I'm going to pull my banners up there. We're going to do that one right there.
Oh, look, there's Thrifter's Villa. Hey,
hey. I gotta represent both. Did I spell it correctly? Yes, I gotta represent Daniela for real. So, and then I'm gonna hit this, of course. Hello, welcome, Daniela. I am Leslie, Reseller's Passion. For those of you who don't know, how could you not know that though?
I mean, you are on her YouTube page, so...
Yes, so we're not even going to do any introductions. Daniela and I like to get together every now and then. She's working, I'm busy, and I really like to hear what's going on because I also want her to talk about the special anniversary that she and Lori have going on. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So we're going to get into that a little bit more later, but let me say hello to some of the people and then I'll let you go. Hey, Christy, Swag Slayer Fashion, Tiana, hello, Dresden Avenue, Margaret, hello, friends, what's going on? Hunter Ryan, hey, Holly, what's going on? I'm so happy to see everyone. And Christy was crazy. She was walking through a store just doing a whole live because they're going out of business. And I was like, at first I'm like, where are you at? And it's in a store that I know. And I'm like, girl, she is too much this one here. So Daniela, what's going on with you?
Hi, everyone. What isn't going on with me? No, I'm good. I'm good, Leslie. I am in a different place in my business right now. I took a little bit of a back seat. Sorry, my lamp keeps doing these funky things. Anyway, I took a back seat to reselling the last 2 weeks to kind of game plan where I want to be in 2021. There's some personal things that have gone on that have kind of launched me in a little bit of a different direction. First things first is Thrifter's Villa is hitting 1 year on December 30th, which is crazy and so exciting. So Lori and I, who's Lori's Boston Bound here on YouTube and Instagram, we have a podcast called Thrifter's Villa, and it is a podcast for resellers and entrepreneurs, as our intro says. And we talk about everything, lifestyle, reselling, life. The last few episodes have been very therapeutic for Lori and I. It's more of a therapy session for us because we're heading towards the end of the year and a lot has gone on, and I think the audience has appreciated that we've, it's real, it's just real life, what we've talked about. And in the last episode, I kind of talked about grief and how I haven't really dealt with it up until probably the last 6 months, really. And my dad's been gone for 2.5 years. So, we kind of talk about all of that. Anyway, so we're hitting our 1 year mark, and we have some fun stuff going on with that, which we'll talk about later. So we're planning for Thrifter's Villa for 2021. So that's been on my mind. We had a conversation this morning about it. So that's, we have some really great ideas and things that we want to launch for Thrifter's Villa next year. I think year one is more of going along the lines of reflection for 2020, which I'm sure we'll talk about. We knew what we wanted, but now I think we really know, we've found our footing. We found what our audience likes, what we like to do, how we kind of mesh together and all that kind of stuff. So that's been really great. What else am I doing? Oh, working on presets. I'm almost done with them. My sister.
I've been waiting. I'm like,
I know. I had to take a little bit of a pause, but working on those. They're almost done. The thing is my sister and I are perfectionists. She's a designer and I'm just a perfectionist in nature. And originally we were going to create one group of overall presets that people could use.
Right.
And now we've decided to create different bundles of presets depending on the color and the schemes. So that's it's taking a little bit longer. So if you are having issues with blue tones, we're gonna have a blue tone preset, yellow tones kind of thing. And then we'll have an overarching one with all different presets. So it's gonna be a little different than maybe other presets that you see out there. So we're really trying to refine it and take her photography knowledge and her design knowledge and applying it to the issues that I see within the community. So that's the other thing. And then the last thing, I can't, there's just so many things going on. But the last thing is I'm working on an ebook / workbook, which we'll, I'm sure, talk about. And yeah, so I've been kind of all over the place. I've still I'm not thrifting, minus yesterday.
with the little baby.
Oh, with little baby Ellie. I know.
God.
That was my first time like meeting her face to face, and because with the pandemic.
Tell people who we're talking about.
Okay, so baby Ellie is Jen from the Savvy Outfitter. That is her daughter. So Jen had Ellie 3.5 months ago, and I still haven't been able to meet her up until yesterday. So that was really nice to meet baby Ellie for the first time. And we were at the thrift store, and there was no one there. So before anyone comes at me or Jen, there was literally no one in the thrift store. We were very safe.
People, whatever, you know.
I know. We were very, 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 very safe. Yeah. So Hunter Ryan, are they for all Adobe programs? So yeah, I'm going to be creating the presets for Lightroom, but if you know how to use Adobe products, then you can put it across any Adobe product.
Yes. Yeah. Old schoolers still like the Adobe.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, but the instructions will be specific to Lightroom, but Lightroom and Adobe are
nice. Well, first of all, you've got a lot going on. I'm so excited about your year anniversary. I think it's really exciting, especially seeing the progress. And I agree with you that there's so much room for so much opportunity for you guys to come up with some great content for 2021. And that's usually what it's like in the beginning. Like mine, I don't know what direction I want to go. So I've just been kind of like downloading whatever, but it's still alive. You know, I just hit 130,000 downloaders or something. You know, I'm in 20 countries or whatever. It's still there. So I just kind of keep it alive as much as I can. And then I can decide in 2021 what I want to do with it. Like I'm going to have my January 1st big podcast thing that I'm doing. But other than that, I'm so excited about your podcast and where it's going to go. It's just amazing to me how we grow as individuals because we all have a story. So we start reselling, and like when people get to know you, I love how you say, "Yeah, I've been reselling for half my life," you know, because that if they don't know you, right? If they don't know you, then it's this assumption that you're new out in the world, and then you're like, "No, I'm the co-host of Just." Oh my gosh, I love that podcast, you know. And that's the truth, right? That's
so funny because there's a lot of local people that recognize Lori and I now, which it's fun. But I was where was I? I was in a thrift store with Lori and like not in my area whatsoever. And someone recognized me with my mask on, and I was like, "Hi, I don't know who you are. What's your name?" "Oh, I listened to your podcast." I was like, "Oh, hi!" Like. It's funny because people start to fangirl you a little bit, and it's like,
yes, I'm familiar with that.
There's nothing to fangirl, like literally nothing at all to fangirl about. Like I am just the way you see me now. If you meet me,
remember when you did that to me? Remember, and you would be like, "Oh, you're famous," and I'd be like, "I am not." And everybody in the room was like,
"No, I know, it's true. It's true." Like, we tease each other about it.
This is what happens. Your screen is like foggy. Are you losing connection?
No, I just think it's my computer because my.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, "Am I foggy to you?"
Hold on. No, I think it's me. Hold on, cleaning my screen. I don't know if it's going to be any better. I just think it's my, this laptop is from 2012. So,
hey, look, but you have not, that's what I was going to say. You just broke down and got a new phone. She's got an iPhone 12. So Daniela is keeping it real though. Like she just broke down and got a new iPhone. And she's holding on to that MacBook. That just goes to show
I don't want to get rid of it.
Apple products are like it, you know. I'm never going back. I don't care what my husband says. Dude,
I know.
When you do the trade-in, you can trade in your iPhone for Android. Then he'll be fussing like, "Oh, why did I trade my iPhone?"
I know. Yeah. So I'm super excited. And since we're on the topic, this means I can start filming for YouTube again because I couldn't film with my other phone anymore. The speakers had completely broke on it. So you couldn't hear me or anything. I could video all day long, but you couldn't hear anything that I said. I had to do a voiceover, and it's just way too much work.
That's awesome with cameras. I love that.
Yes, so this is the 12 Pro. Highly recommend. The camera's great. Only if you can afford one though, which I technically couldn't afford one, but I needed it, so I made it work. We made it work. But yeah, I'm super, super, super excited about having the new phone. It'll be, oh, thank you. I got it cut today. That's fine. That is why my hair is done. I got it cut today. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I can start doing my YouTube videos again because it's been a little bit. My phone broke.
Yeah,
I mean, on my computer, like as you can tell, my camera's not great, so it's not. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, and one thing I will say about the Mac, I love everything about it except for the camera. Because when I go to do Zoom, like I'm talking to you on my Dell, which is now a part of my shipping station. And my roller was attached to it. So I had to keep it. I was like, oh, that works out perfectly. Don't sell it. And I'm so glad I didn't, because when I get on my MacBook, the screen is not the best. Everything else, man, on point. I know it and everything's there, but it's just like I went through my first Zoom chat and I was like, what is this?
Yeah. It's so funny because if you're a nerd like me and you watch all like the tech YouTube videos, one of the biggest criticisms, even on the new MacBook Pro and Air, is that the camera is god awful, which is crazy because everything else about the computer is amazing.
I know, well, and also for the price too. I'm like,
right. So the camera's in 720. Why? Where your phone is in 1080 or 4K.
I know. See, I'm not alone because I'm like, the money that I spent, it's like believe me, it's a business investment, but so I want the whole thing to be an investment, but it is what it is. I take what it is, and then after all, next year, I think I'm gonna get my phone one more year because I think we have a 2-year plan. Because if I wasn't on a plan, I wouldn't have the phone. Those phones are expensive. So next year, this just plain 11 I have works out well, and I'm delving into my GoPro. Poor thing, I've been neglecting it. I look at it every now and then, I pull it out and I'm like, it's just because this one is so simple. The GoPro, I have to hit the little buttons and I have to get up to touch it, whereas my phone, I just have my clicker.
It's so different.
I can't control it though from the app, so I'm working on it. I'm going to get a little.
I mean, it's a new piece of technology to use.
You already know me in technology anyway. People think that I have this thing together. Please, I always
text me the first day she got her MacBook and was like, how do I do this?
I tell this story to everyone, and I said, Daniela sent me the link to a video. She was like, I don't even want to deal with you. So
I'm not telling you how to do it. Watch the video.
I had the ladies cracking up. I said, Daniela and Stacy do the same thing because before I was using iMovies because I didn't have my Mac, so I didn't feel like editing on my phone. So I did pay for a year of Filmora. That's what I use. Same concept as iMovie. So I still use that here on my Dell. And every now and then I'm saying, Stacy, so how do you? And she'll say, Mom, here is the link. And I'm like, oh, you and Danielle, I thought you had my back. Both of you are turning on me.
Just watch the video. You'll be fine.
So hello, everyone that just joined Brunch with Diva. Hi, Rhonda. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Melissa. What is going on? Melissa and Quimby just did a really cute live unboxing of their thread up. It was really cute. They were side by side like us, and they each unboxed something. And I was like, okay. I thought that was real nice, that collab that they did. It was like
I apologize in advance to everyone who is listening and that's going to be watching afterwards. I am the worst at attending lives. I pop in when I can, and they'll be like, hey, and then I'm off doing something else.
Yeah. It's like, there are some people who will get a big audience, but I'm like, you know what? It's a video the next day. So it's not like it's a big deal. Like we only have 9 watching right now, but it'll be a video. And by the time I wake up, it'll be 100 views. So it's not like a huge deal.
Oh, yeah.
We do want people, but people are probably tired of lives because every time you turn around, it's lives. You see the lives in our group. I try to catch up. And when the people do last minute lives like Christy, I'm like, Christy, I'm trying to support you, but listen, y'all can't be doing I'm going live
on Instagram that I'm live right now. Hold on guys. Let's see, this is the importance of social media. This is the importance of social media right here. Oh, if my phone would work. It just Instagram froze.
You just got it. It should
be. Instagram froze. Anyway, I'm going to post it in a second. Because the more you post on social media, the more people, especially to a story, people are going to stop popping in because that's what happens. People forget. It's just part of who it is.
You indeed. Hey, friends.
Beautiful. I'm going to throw this out to everyone who's in the chat who cares. If you guys have anything in particular that you would like to hear on Thrifters Villa, because I know everyone that's in the chat right now listens to the podcast, or they say they better be listening. My sister just said she's watching. So, hey, Steph.
Hey, Steph.
If you have anything that you want Lori and I to cover, or if you have ideas or anything, either put them in the chat, or you can send Lori and I a DM, because our podcast is really built on the audience, our audience. It's not what Lori and I want to do. It's whatever we think the listeners really want to hear. And we have a post up right now. We have a little contest going on the Thrifters Villa page. And it's for our final episode, and we're going to pick people. And just what people have been writing, it just really touches us, because it shows that what we put into it is coming through, and that people feel our authenticity and everything. So that's what the whole podcast is about. So if you guys have anything that we haven't touched upon yet, or if there's like someone out there that you think should be on the podcast that maybe doesn't know about us, or if you are looking for expertise in a certain field for entrepreneurship, let us know.
Yeah, there's definitely tons. You know what? Wait, well, Tiana, you're funny. She's a mom who has a baby. There you go. Like Margaret's like, I'm sorry, it's a whole nother conversation going on over there. But yes, definitely reach out to Daniela and Lori, and tell them what you want to hear. First of all, just listening to them talk, just having an everyday conversation. It's like
that's all it is.
The two of them just sitting around talking. I can't wait till we can get together again. I would just love to be in that area and just, us be at a cafe somewhere, and the next thing look up is 3 hours later or something. I miss being able to travel, and I can't wait, maybe this summer getting
hopefully, we'll have to see how everything goes,
I'm in no rush, so I'm just kind of like speaking it into existence. Hey Ava, what's going on? Young lady Ava attended my Poshmark.
Who's Ava? I don't know Ava.
Huh?
I said I don't know Ava.
She's not on social media. She's on, she doesn't even have a YouTube channel, but she's YouTube. And the reason that you don't know her, because she's only 13 years old.
Hi, Ava.
So she might be somebody cute, for you. She attended my Poshmark 9th birthday party. And for most of the things, she had her screen off, and she's like, "Can I just type in what I want to say?" And then, literally the last half hour, she got brave, and she pops up on the screen, and I'm like, "Look at this little," and I didn't say anything to her because I didn't want to frighten her or anything. And I'm like, "She looks like she's about 10 years old," and then all of a sudden, she jumped in the conversation. She won a mask. And she wanted to follow everybody on Poshmark, because she said she's not old enough, so she's not on Instagram, she's not on social media. And sweet Ava, I just mailed your mask today, darling. Everyone remembers Ava, whoever attended the party. She's sweet. She sells, and she has a great closet too.
Michelle is asking, how do resellers get so many high-priced items? There's lots of ways. There's lots of ways. I'll name a couple, and then Leslie can name some. The first one I'm going to name is where you're shopping at your local thrift store. Depending on what area that you're in, you might have to travel out to different areas, which I know plenty of resellers do. Travel 2, 3, 4 hours to get certain things. Estate sales is another way to do it. Pallets, which is probably the one that most people do. Consignment. Ask people in your neighborhood or people that you know if they want to do consignment with you. Not everything about reselling is high-priced items, though.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Not everyone. Sometimes a lot of times you don't go intentionally looking for high-priced items. You do need to kind of be on the lookout for names and things like that. And if you don't know a name, and if you've been selling for at least 2 years, you should know fabric. You should be able to look at something and know that it is a high quality item. Right. Just because you don't know the name, don't go by these videos and the resellers that you hear out here, because the stuff that they're finding is surprising them as well. And 2 months later, now they know the name. Because I am not a professional reseller. I happen to resell, but I don't know a lot about fashion. I'm just a jean and t-shirt girl. So everything I've learned is through trial and error and checking comps. You're in the store, check your comp. Go to places like The Real. Daniela helps me out a lot with those things. But you can go to Salehound, check other, platforms, and look up these items. I'm telling you, I've been at the bins, and Daniela has that incredible story, but I have been at the bins on more occasions than I can count, where I found something and I look at it like somebody's actually like just walk by it, and you come across it and it's something about the color, or you go like, wow, that's silk. And then you start looking and you're like, wow. And you find that $500 piece. And Daniela, tell me about that vintage item that you found.
Yeah, so this was early on in my reselling journey. It was probably my second or third trip to the bins, and my husband actually came with me because he didn't want me to drive up there alone. So the bins that I'm talking about are about 2 hours away from me. So I'd have to leave like around 4 a.m. to get there for when they first opened. Anyway, so it was actually a really great day. I found a lot of really like basic made well type pieces, but then I started hitting like vintage YSL and a lot of it was men's. Well, I came across a bin that was completely picked over, and there was a bunch of prom dresses and just random formal wear. And there was one dress that caught my eye, and it had a floral pattern on it. But it looked like a dress that you would have bought on like Shein or something. Like the seams were all exposed. It wasn't anything special when you looked at it. Right. But then I saw the tag, and it was Christian Dior. So I grabbed it. I said, I don't know if this is real. Like, I have no idea. I'm just going to grab it, and I'm going to see. And I brought it over to my husband, and he looked at it, and he was like, just take it home. Like, what's worst that can happen?
Exactly.
For it. So just put it in, and then we'll see. And I took a chance and sent it to the Real. I heard about the Real. I hadn't really done anything with it yet. And I was like, well, let me just send it. It was the one piece I sent to them. It was the first piece I ever sent. And I said, I mean, if they accept it and it's real, great. And if not, then I didn't lose anything, right? I'll just redonate it or something. Like, it's not a big deal to me. And it ended up being real. And it was a collaboration, a vintage collaboration from the 1940s, 1950s in that realm, which explains why the dress looked the way that it did, and not your typical Dior piece that you would find today with the seams are perfect and everything. It looked like it might have been, looking at the piece, and I wish I had a picture. I have to go back into my.
I kind of have it pictured in my head of what it looks like.
Yeah, I have to go back and find it. I'll have to do a post on it someday too, to like reflect back on it. But it had like this. It was pink and brown, and it had this floral pattern. Anyway, it looked like a dress you would have seen in a movie, like a Mad Men type show or something like that. So it's very possible this piece was used for something like that. A lot of these pieces go in the museum. So anyway, the Real priced at $1,400. And it was in their vintage section. So in case you don't know, the Real has a vintage tab. And it's highly sought after by designers. Dior itself will go in there and look for certain pieces for inspiration, and they'll buy them. Museums, movie producers, like they all go to that vintage area to gain inspiration, and they buy a lot of pieces from there. And collectors, because there are people that collect as well. And it sold for full asking price in a day, not even a day. And it was a wonderful payout.
Okay, so this is Holly. Hunter Ryan's her son, and she's saying she doesn't know your podcast. So talk a little bit about, like, oh my gosh, Holly, where have you been?
First of all, no. So, well, welcome, and I hope you subscribe to Thrifters Villa. So we have an Instagram page. It's just Thrifters Villa, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. So Spotify, Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, all of them. And we are a reselling podcast / entrepreneurial podcast / lifestyle podcast, and it's Lori Tata, who is Lori's Boston Bound, and myself. And Lori is on every other week, and then on the off weeks, it's me with a guest. Sometimes Lori pops in too. You know, she has the availability. She pops in, and we have a coffee talk episode, and we just sit down and chat with the guest about anything. So we've had vintage sellers on. We had a vintage seller who was an opera singer as well. We've had people that specialize in SEO and marketing. I mean, you name it, they've been on the podcast. We're looking to branch out even more in 2021 with that.
They had this cool girl from Philly on.
Denali's been on. Who else has been? So many people have been on. Brittany from Endeavors.
Glow Girl's been on.
Yes, Nikki's been on. Brittany doesn't have a social media, but if you guys don't follow Essential Endeavors here on YouTube,
her YouTube is blowing up like crazy. Yes. No. My guru is my girl Lori. at just hitting 11,000
I
subscribers. Okay,
know.
like every video is like 1.4 thousand. And I'm like, Lori, and it's just like if Rocco hadn't said, Mom, you're not
I know.
monetized. Like seriously.
I know.
I love her. I just love first of all, I love both of you, but I love the community and I love people who are down to earth in the community. There's other stories to be told, and I always kind of just bring that up, but I was like, I'm not going to name any names because everyone can have a different opinion. I just want people who are inclusive, who just love the community and don't care what the community's saying. That's the thing that's really important to me, to be your own unique. Find your own space, find your own way. Like the video I'm dropping tomorrow, it doesn't get deep into that. It just talks about like I just get into my schedule. Like people are like, how do you get so much done? And I'm like, well, I can do whatever I want to do. First of all, I don't follow what other people are doing. Find like so many people say, oh, I want to be like you. No, just be the best version of you. And if you thought about that within this community, stop worrying about what other people are doing, because Daniela didn't just arrive. She made like a lot of decisions and she's slowly pacing herself, which is cool because to have a podcast, to have a YouTube channel, to run business, to have a website. Now she's starting an ebook and she works a full-time job. So she has a full-time job. Her business is not part-time, it is full-time. So you have two full-time endeavors. You have to do what works for you, and it's appealing. It may not appeal to the masses. And that's the key. Our goal is not to appeal to the masses. It's to come out with content that makes you feel good. And then you realize that other people are starting to like it. And then you start asking them what they want to continue to see and hear. And that's what you should do. Because I definitely don't care what anybody says or thinks about me.
Hi, Quenby.
So.
Oh, there's my sister. That's my sister. Hey, Steph. Steph doesn't have a YouTube channel or anything, but that's my sister.
Hey, super cute. So everyone who's joining us, yay. Okay, so Melissa, if people don't know, Vandy's Closet is Melissa, Quality of Fabric and Tag.
Follow her.
Yes, definitely follow Melissa. For real, if anything you want to know about ThreadUp, she has a ton of videos about ThreadUp. She gets into all of it, and she's not afraid. She doesn't hold her tongue at all. What is Christy saying? Christy's been shopping, so listen to Christy. She's always in the store. Hello, the grateful queen. I just said that last night. How does Leslie get so much done? I am pulled in so many directions.
Well, I mean, Quenby, you have your son too, so it's a little different.
So, exactly. That's exactly what I say in my video. And that's what I say all along. We're all at different places in our life. Because Sarah and I were talking, we had she said I was giving her a TED talk last week. But we had our little moment, and we were talking. She's at a place that I was at. See, yeah. That's the key. And I was running businesses, but I also was like in an unhappy relationship. And then finally I became a single mom who works 6 days a week. I had 2 businesses. I have a daughter on the spectrum. I had a daughter with a medical condition.
Right.
So I said it in my video that I've been at every level. And now I'm at the level where I don't have any babies. I have 2 girls that live at home, but they're adults. Like my 18-year-old now, she is a CNA. She's at work. She works 3 of 11 shift. Mm-hmm. And she's a full-time student. So I can basically do what I want right now. So when you look at the video, it'll be released tomorrow at 12 p.m. I'm really just kind of getting you to just have an idea. Like I do make a schedule. You should have a schedule anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your goal shouldn't be to become full-time. Your goal should be, 1, figuring out your finances at home, getting all that together, having a savings account and having a plan. Look at what we're going through right now. So just really think about what you want to do. You're not me. I can't live like you. You can't live like me. But you'll figure it out. So go. I was just speaking to Tiana about embracing my journey as a beginner right now. You're kind of beyond the beginner stage.
You're not a beginner anymore. So
yeah, that doesn't work anymore. You're about to hit a full year. Next month it'll be a year for you. So you're past that. Plus you're like in the community and you have resources that other people, and it's not that they don't have it, but they're not looking for it. Right. So you happen to be surrounded with a group of people who can give you, if I don't know, Daniela knows, or if Daniela doesn't know, Rhonda knows, and C knows, and Terry knows. So you have so many people now who have embraced you that now it's time for you to kind of pass the torch to the actual new people. So
I'm just reading the comments here. Hunter, Ryan, Holly, right? That's her name, Holly?
Yes.
she found me on Instagram and followed and signed up for the email and social media calendar. Yeah, the social media calendar went over really well. So let me know how you like it. That was a Thrifters Villa thing.
Nice.
Wendy asked a question. Daniela, what is your favorite brand to source? I don't really have one specific brand that I like to source. I source depending on what's going on in the world, if that makes sense. So right now, I really like sourcing leggings and intimates, which is really outside of my realm of what I normally source. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding that they're selling quickly, especially the intimates. And I've learned so many different intimate brands in a small period of time. And it's been really fun to just go to the intimate section and just kind of shuffle through it.
I love it.
Right, and grabbing like even the vintage ones and kind of learning about
vintage. You already know I know about the vintage ones.
Yeah. Well, I found some like Nordstrom specific intimate brands and stuff, and there's a big following for them. So I really enjoyed that.
I actually have 2 pieces. They're not in here. I've left them in my bedroom. But yes, a negligee and like panties. They haven't been worn, brand new vintage.
Oh, nice.
So I do like lingerie and the intimates are sellers. That's the only time that I do retail arbitrage is for bras and things like that. I'll go into, TJ Maxx and Marshalls and go to the clearance section. Only time that I will do that. And that stuff sells like that.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So if I have a slow sales week and I'm looking at my sales, I've sold leggings, I've sold comfort wear of some sort, and I've sold bras. So, and I think it's just a tale of the times right now is that, especially right now, it being fall and winter, and a lot of businesses are shutting down until maybe March. We don't really know yet, kind of thing. So I find that people are kind of gearing up for that. Like, well, I'm going to be home, so I might as well have comfortable things to wear. So yeah, I don't really, if I, let's say it's like a perfect world, right? Perfect world, everything's normal. I love to source Madewell. I love to, if I were to find it. Everlane, if I were to find it. And Other Stories is another brand that I love to pick up. And I mean, Rothy's, because who wouldn't? That's like a perfect world scenario.
I have yet to find a pair of Rothy's.
I found them twice.
Okay.
2 pairs at one place and 1 pair at another place.
Wow.
But they're few and far in between.
I get excited about the 1 pair of teaks I've ever found. So
yeah, I found 1 pair too.
Yeah, so it's so just so people can realize not everybody finds everything. We all live in different locations. Like Quimby was just talking about on her live when she was on with Melissa, how for her finding Lululemon is just like a normal kind of thing. In that box, when they were unboxing the pieces from ThreadUp, Quimby pulls out. She's like, "Oh, this is a cute camo print." And then she's like, "Oh, look what I have." And there's this thing. And she's like, the factory is where she lives at. So people wear the stuff and they take it to the thrift store. So for her, it's like, yeah, Lululemon,
Meanwhile, if I find a thrift store, I'm very excited.
Exactly. So I've only found once, and that was 2 years ago. And they were kind of like the older ones, and I sold them together as a bundle because they weren't like brand new. And I was happy with that. The
old Lululemons, don't pass on them now because the kids have this new saying for them and they're calling them flare leggings.
Oh, you were saying that?
That's yoga pants.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical. If we can sell them, let's do that. But if they can sell them, let's do it. But like real quick, back to the intimates, and we're talking about bras and panties and things like that. This stuff sells, people. When you're sourcing, step out of your zone. Christy, she looked at some of the things I got from Joe Mar. That's why I ordered that 50-piece from Joe Mar is plus size bras, and plus size really sells really nice bras and panties and stuff. And they throw some. I have a couple $50 bras. I just sold 3 bras for $50 on eBay. So it's like, that's the stuff you should be looking for because we're all wearing bras, no matter what. Females, like, I don't know why you're wearing bras at home, but
right. I have one on now because I have to. Actually, no, I probably could have not worn one.
I know. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So like at home, as soon as I come in the house, Nikki, I do this because she thinks I'm hysterical when I talk about it. But I'm like, and I have on the pajamas. Seriously, and now people are probably like, why do you have on a hat? Because I'm cold. and I have a bald head. My office gets a little chilly, so I just had on a blanket earlier, but I was like, I'm not going to have my blanket on while I'm talking to Daniela.
I mean, you could. I could probably have a blanket on.
Casual. We're casual. Everybody should be hitting the thumbs up, commenting, all that engagement. It helps.
Can I also live in your perfect world, Daniela? Absolutely, Melissa. If we could all live in that perfect world, it would be great. I will share one story. Very recently, I had an amazing thrift trip. And I'm not going to give out locations for all you locals out there. I'm not going to share that with you. Keeping it a secret. An estate sale had happened the previous week, and whatever didn't sell, they just dumped it at the local thrift store, and it was really wonderful. Like high-end luxury, like things that you just would never find anywhere. And it all got boxed up this morning. I sent to the Real.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be looking more into the Real. When I went to my last trip to the bins, I found all this vintage, and it was just like, it was like kind of weird. Like, you're probably understanding because you were just talking about like a estate sale. It was like I was digging through someone's life. It was like their family donated it, and they just took it and just tossed it into one bin. And our bin is really weird right now because they're ringing bells. Like, you can dig for 20 seconds and they ring a bell and you have to go around like musical chairs. I was like, yeah, I can't do this for a while. But I was in my bin and I was like, oh my God. So I started just pulling it all out. And then I'm like looking for Thomas because I had number 17, he had 7. So he's way at the other end. I'm trying to go like this, and he's not paying me any attention. So then after everybody makes their trip around, then you're allowed to roam freely. I went right back to the bed and pulled everything out. I have negligees. I have so much stuff. And I threw it all. I washed it. And it's hanging down in my basement right now. Like, just excellent stuff. And I'm like, wow.
That's what this was for me too. I hit up the sweaters and I was like, oh, okay. But you don't, like, when you first start, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to take note of what size, and I'm going to make sure that when I hit those sizes that I really pay attention. And then it was in the next section, and then the next section. And then I was like, I got to go through every inch of the store now. Like, I don't have a choice but to go through every inch of the store 3.5 hours later.
Wow.
But well worth it.
That's crazy. When we talked, she had a great experience too, where she said she had just popped into a store she wasn't going to, and she found all this great stuff. But I love those.
It's not normal for those who are listening.
I love that. Believe me, I know it's not, because I'll do like, oh, let me just pop in, because I'm not really, my retail store thankfully is right next to like the dollar store. Okay, I'm going to the dollar store, but let me just kind of pop in there. My Chinese food store is across in the same shopping center. So while my food is getting ready, I said, I'm going to just go in, have my mask. Okay, it's not a lot of people in now. I'll go in, and I'm like, I found 3 things, you know what I mean? Like, but the best time to go is like 6 o'clock in the evening. During the day is not when you go, because that's when everyone's going. 6 o'clock is kind of calming down. It's dark outside, and you go and you may find that 1 or 2 pieces. So
yeah,
it's interesting how all that works. I saw somebody said something. Wait a minute. What's Pumpy saying here? I'm selling jeans and sweaters mostly this week. Oh, and yoga leggings. That's what people are wearing, and I'm not wearing jeans at home. So I did. Right. Thomas and I went out yesterday. I had on jeans. That's what I wear outside. As soon as I come in, I'm sticking comfortable leggings on and my flared yoga pants.
Isn't that crazy?
It's like
flared. I don't even get that.
That's hysterical. I resent the fact that there is even really an opportunity for vintage, not the vintage like what you found, but like the ugly 80s stuff. Like, you're seriously bringing that stuff back that I hated as a kid. These young people love that stuff, and I go, yeah, I'm not impressed. Or the fact that they're calling them high-waisted mom jeans when I was wearing those when I was 14. Like, how dare you? Like, like, seriously, how should I feel about that? Like, they're high-waisted. Just leave it at that. Like,
I know.
And I can't even fit in that little tiny 10 or whatever. So
and the sizes are so different.
Yes, the waist used to be so tiny. That's why you have to, for people who sell vintage, you really have to have measurements if you're going to sell, because a 14 back in 1982 is not the same as a 14 now. Now the waist is out and everything has spandex in it now. Before
it
was totally it was hard. Those were hard jeans back then. Iron their jeans. Now everything is spandex. So you have to really think about that. You can't just say it's a 14 and walk away and get upset when your customer asks you for measurements, because that waist is tiny, so it's not going to be the same effect for them, and you do not.
It's kind of like, how they always say Marilyn Monroe was a size 12, but in theory she was really like a size 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Just at that point in time, like 12 meant that kind of thing.
Yeah, and she was actually considered full figure back then. She wasn't considered like a thin person. Jane Man. Exactly. Like, so yeah, people, you can't go by any of that. So let's talk about this. So now, what's your next goal? You were talking about an ebook. Why did you decide to do that? I mean, we talk all the time, so I know,
Yeah.
Text me. I feel because Daniela will text me. I'm like, she likes to.
I don't even text words. I just text.
This old girl. I feel good when it'll pop up. I'm like, oh, there's Daniela.
I literally, so the night I started writing it, I didn't even say anything to Leslie. I just took a picture of it and sent it to her, and that was it. I was
on the chat, and I looked. I was like, wait a minute, Daniela just sent me something. Oh my god! Wow. I'm like, okay, because that's what she'll do. She'll like in her head, she'll come up with the idea. And I guess she'll figure out how she's going to implement, and then she starts, and then she'll send me stuff. And she does this all the time, like when she was doing her presets, and then she'll say, how do you like this? And then she'll send something else. When she did her logo, like, I'm like, what? When did you come?
Yeah, this brain never stops.
That one totally surprised me, though. That one surprised me because I was like, wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be an ebook and workbook. Like, I don't want it to be a traditional just ebook. I want it to be interactive, because for those of you who don't know, I am a teacher by trade. I may not be in that field right now, but I fully like to incorporate dual modalities of learning. So that means either you're looking at it and you're reading it, or you're listening, and touching, feeling, and the act of doing. So I really wanted my book to have that component to it. So this isn't going to be like a reseller specific book, which was very important to me. I didn't want it to be just reseller specific, but of course, if you are a reseller, this will apply to you. Whether you're new or you're looking to expand or your experience, but you need to kind of refocus yourself. That's kind of what this purpose is. And basically it's geared towards those who are part-time. So that's the only thing I'm really gearing it towards, is for those that are part-time or those that are looking to get into a side hustle of some sort, because I can speak to that. I can't speak to being a full-timer and not having a job outside the home, because that doesn't relate to me. Right. So basically it's going to be broken up in various chapters. There'll be things in there where you'll learn about marketing, about social media, about finding out what your brand is. So I break it down to different pillars, foundational steps that you should have before you even get to the point of being on social media and actually being out there in the world. Like, what are the things that I probably should have done, and that most of us probably should have done, but didn't. And it's just the way my brain works, and just how to organize all your thoughts down. There'll be areas where you can, where you'll be filling in different bubbles, and then taking all that information and learning how to brand your business, and kind of just taking through all those steps until you finally get to the point where you have an actual brand, and the steps that you need to either create a logo or start a website or all that kind of stuff, and then kind of go off from there. So that's the vision behind the ebook and the workbook. It's for the side hustlers out there that want to make it more than just a side hustle, but aren't quite sure what they need to do and what's necessary to actually build a brand. So I have marketing experience. So for me, it was easy because I knew, because I worked in that area, and I have a sister who's a designer. So like, it was very easy. But for others, it's not.
Right.
And
it's a work in process. But what I like, first I'm going to say hi to a couple people. Hey, Terry, Evolving Always. Very at the very bottom, Rosalind just came in. My girl Maria came in. Hi, Maria. What's going on, friend? Make sure I didn't miss anyone. I'm so glad everybody can join us. Hit the thumbs up, friends. I like what you're doing because I've been talking about this a lot and I believe in this 100%. Yes, we happen to be resellers who started reselling. And then to make connections, that's how we're reaching out. But I also believe that we all should be making products for people, what I call mainstream. And that's why that's what my resellers masterclass, or resellers pass and masterclass is actually going to be all about, to reach the mainstream. A lot of the ebooks that are selling for me now they're not resellers. They're people who want to learn again how to make some additional money, and I'm working on some additional things like that. So if you know, and I say nothing against anyone in the reselling community who's creating courses and things like that, but me, and I said it before, I personally wouldn't pay for a course that teaches me how to sell on Poshmark. You have to start marketing to the people outside of our community, because after a while, that's why it's going to be hard for you to get bigger names. Yeah, people are going to flock in the beginning, but then it halts. My book has never stopped selling because anyone can pick up my book and learn how to turn their trash into treasure, get the clothes out of their closet and resell. You know, so that's what I love about what you're doing. And my husband is actually writing a book on how to sell at flea markets. He's been doing it for over 30 years or whatever. So that is really important what you're doing. And I can't wait until you release it so we can, everybody can share it and everything. And
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's a
really excited. And the fact that my sister can do it with me, which is really fun too.
Yeah, we got you, girl. Step into the reselling community.
So that's going to make some debuts in the reselling community, but not with reselling. Oh, hi, Ryan.
Jack. Hello.
So
you guys don't, Jack Valentine and then Ryan Jones. I love them. They're my honeys. I love them so much.
Gotta stop everything that we're doing to talk to them because so it's going to be fun. So my sister is a graphic designer and has a lot of experience in branding and logo design and all that kind of stuff. And I really want to introduce her into the reselling world because I think that she could benefit so many people out there. So she is designing my workbook and ebook. And we're also doing some other stuff that we'll be releasing in 2021 as well, where it will help people learn how to create brands and branding guides and color palettes and all that kind of stuff. Love you, Jack. So I'm really excited about that. So you'll see her eventually at some point in time. We're working on a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, I got you. Daniela, hopefully she told, because I got to come see y'all, meet your mom, meet Steffi, meet Nona. Yeah. Daniela's black friend who likes Italian food. Bring it, girl. Bring it. Oh no!
So that's the ebook and workbook, and my goal is to release it before the end of the year, but I'm not going to pressure myself because I still have like 2 or 3 chapters that I really want to spend a little more time on because I think they're areas that kind of get glazed over in the reselling world, and I know that a lot of resellers are probably picking up the book, so I'm really trying to refine certain areas of it. Even though I'm appealing to a large audience, I know who my target audience will be when it comes to this.
Right. And that's the key. See, that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, yeah, we kind of like, you know marketing, but I've always had businesses also. And I think if you spent any type of resell, or if you work for a company that you had to do any type of marketing for, you need to know who your customers are. You need to know who your target audience is. So that's why it's never upset me that my family doesn't care what I do, because they've never been my target audience. Right. They can love me. They don't have to buy a single thing. I'll never ask them to buy a single thing. If they surprise me, that would be great. But I don't post anything on Facebook. Literally no one in my family, aside from my parents and like my sibs, know what I'm doing, and a couple of my in-laws. They don't know that even my mom, who didn't have Instagram until a few months ago, she got Instagram, she downloaded the app, and it's like, how people, this person. So it popped, and she clicked on me and she called me the next day and was like, you got what's going on? And that's when I only had like 10,000. She was like, what is going on? When did all this happen? It's like, she knew I was selling on Poshmark because I showed her how to do it, but she didn't realize the extent of it, and then I'm like, Mom, I'm coming. When I come, I'm meeting some ladies at the cafe. Who you meeting? What? So just that kind of thing. But you have to know who your target audience is, and that way you can appeal to them instead of wasting all your time over here. because family is not it. We all know about that network marketing. If you ever sold Amway or Avon or whatever, and you're trying to appeal to your family, they're not your market. I'm sorry, you're going to lose them. People aren't going to want you to come to their house. They're not going to want to deal with you. So you got to figure out who it is. And so that's how I'm successful, because I know every day when I pop up on Instagram who my audience is, just from my everyday engagement and the DMs and the different responses that I get,
Yeah, I agree. So I'm excited about it. I'll let you guys know when, but right now we're in the design process and I'm trying to finish next. So we've got a little bit to go with it, but I've only started, it's only been a week that it's been in production, really. The thoughts have been there, but actually in production for about a week. So we'll see. I mean, December, it's flying by. So I can't.
I'm always crying. She's like, we'll see. We'll see. Now I have a podcast. We'll see.
Yeah, but see, but this is different though.
I have a website. Yeah. And I'm doing presets now.
Yes,
I don't have time for that. But now let me add another business onto that.
Stop it. This is words on paper. This is different.
She knows I love her. She knows that I love her. Wait, Quimby's funny. For real, Quimby, I'm with you. If it wasn't for recording videos, I would be in yoga leggings, no makeup. See, that's the thing, Quimby.
I don't put that makeup on.
That's what I'm saying. When you're home, I want people to see me real, because what's happening is, I said that all the time, which is, you still look beautiful, Quimby. You have your theme with your boho, your bohemian tops that you wear, nothing wrong with that. But me, I'm going to show up the same way every day. So that when I pop over here, now I did surprise them, my Poshmark party, Daniela. I did have on some cute earrings. I had on a vintage top. I put on some eyeliner, I had the lip gloss going, and I was like, bam. But other than that,
this is what you get after me working all day. I'm surprised Sarah is
when Daniela does her videos, she doesn't have makeup on, and that's what I like. She's chronicles of a reseller. She's showing you the real life. I'm showing you the real. I'm coming and going like, yeah. Oh, I made a blooper. Wait a minute.
I probably edit this a little bit.
There's some things you can't edit out, because it would be like today I made a video and I was like, I was like, yeah, that's my blooper. I'll let you know right in the video. Nikki loves when I do that. I'm like, yeah, that's the blooper, and then I'll just keep on talking. So because if I don't say it's a blooper, then someone's going to say to me in the comments, "Oh, you said that." I know.
Well aware. Thank you.
It's okay. We're human. I love that. I want real, because it's like, today I'm real, and then the next few videos I got like makeup on, and then the next video I'm in sweats again. So you're just going to get it the same way.
Same with the podcast. When I say I edit the podcast, I literally just splice the intro, put in music, and then call it a day.
And then if you have sponsors or whatever, you just kind of splice. Exactly. So that's exactly
everything. Unless it's like when I get a phone call or something, I'll obviously
exactly.
But other than that, it is what it is. Also, Heidi is here. Hi, Heidi. Heidi
Restyle Secrets.
She has a YouTube channel, and you should go subscribe to her channel.
She said, I was wondering, you changed your picture, Heidi. If pajamas 24/7, go away. I'm pajamas all the time. Because I remember Daniela made a point of she was being casual at work, and she decided not to be casual at work. And I'm like, okay, she's going to work, but home. Oh, yeah. I'm working from home. I'm going to be totally there. People were like, I dress up for work. I mean, I dress up at home. Why? Now, I may take off the pajama pants and put on the yoga, the flared legs, or the leggings. It's different. So I will get out of bed, maybe take a shower, and then put on a clean shirt. And then, but still they're comfy. Like these pants I have on, I can stretch them all the way out here right now. Wonderful. So, but I'm home. Like that's why I came home. So I don't have to wear nice, clothes. Like why? Who's going to see me? Thomas doesn't care. Please. Like, so my husband's a reseller. That's how I got into reselling, not the other way around.
Yeah.
It's going to be days when he look bummier than me. As a clean out business, he'll come home caked in dirt. Things.
I'm sure.
He don't care how I look.
Right. So true.
Or Ryan or Jack the same state yet? Oh,
I don't know if they are.
No, I was going to ask them or who's changing their name. That's what I was going to ask. Like, am I starting something?
Listen to you do splicing editing. Yeah.
Who would have known 1 year
Love
ago?
you
I
too,
know,
Maria.
Maria. Hey, honey. So successful. Love you, ladies. I love you too. Yes, it is amazing a year ago because that day that we met was the day that Daniela and Lori told me that they were going into partnership to do their podcast. So it is amazing a difference that a year makes. I miss everyone so much.
I'm going to throw it out here too because people think that like Lori and I knew each other before. Lori and I had we met.
You didn't even know it. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes. Well, she started. Well, first, how did this is so? I like to tell that story. So you found Lori how?
On YouTube. I think I was searching the New Hampshire bins or something because I was going that upcoming weekend, and I was just curious if anyone had been there and if any videos on it. And Lori popped up. So then I started binging Lori's videos because who doesn't start binging Lori's videos? Like she's awesome, right? She's got a great voice and everything. So and very easy to listen to. And they were long, and I was still in the learning process of research. Right. So I needed that type of content, right? So I found her on Instagram, and Lori didn't have an Instagram following then. Like she was really only active on YouTube, not really that much on Instagram. And I reached out to her, and we started talking, and then one thing led to another. Then Leslie was coming, and I said to Leslie, "You need to reach out to Lori because I think she'd be great to come to the podcast recording." So Lori and I then started talking even more, and then I said to her one night, "Do you want to do a podcast with me?" Wow. Like, I want to do one, but I need to do it with someone that I know that I can do it with. Like, we're very similar but different at the same time. But anyway, we mesh very well. And she said yes without any hesitation. Mine's really hard to do each other. And so over the last year, Lori and I have really grown. Like, our friendship has grown a lot, and like we're really more like, she's big sister, I'm little sister.
Two Italians, yes. But to put it in perspective for you, what Daniela is saying, pre-COVID, I was starting to take my podcast on the road, and my first stop was in the Boston, Massachusetts area, and I just put out a post saying, "Look, I'm coming to Massachusetts." I said to Daniela, "I'm coming," and then it just went from there. People started contacting me. I put a group together, and so Daniela said, she was like, "I found this person named Lori. Have you ever watched her videos?" And I was like, "I've never heard of her." And she said she would be a great person for you to invite. So I reached out to Lori, and Lori was like, "Oh man, I can't go. My husband's going on a trip to California, and I'm going to go with him." Lo and behold, a couple of days before I was supposed to arrive, she said the trip was canceled. I'm in. So in that meeting, I had invited especially 9 or 10 people to come to my hotel room to tape the podcast. And then another group of people we would go to break bread together at the restaurant. And so that group included like Daniela, Lori, that's how I met Lizette and Andrew, Crystal, Jen. No, Jen wasn't a part of the Nicole, Colette was there.
Jen came afterwards.
She came to the restaurant. And so that's how I met these ladies. So we're talking about Lori and Daniela a month. Like I literally announced it and I was coming like 3 weeks later. So in this short span of time that they've got to know each other. So Daniela comes, everybody comes to the hotel. Daniela's there first. We're talking and everything. And then she even hangs out at the end. But before that, Daniela drives me and Lori to the restaurant. Then she drives me back to the hotel and they're like, "We have a surprise. We're going to do a podcast together." And that to me was like, so look, I'm like tearing up. I'm like choking up.
Crying.
Just start choking up. I mean, like, but the connections that we make in this community, that's what I love. I just love bringing community together. I don't care who branches out and does what. I'm not responsible for that. They are, because they're the people putting in the work, And so, but I have the pleasure of calling them friends. And that's what I love about this community, that there's enough for everyone. We are all friends. Daniela and Lori have a podcast. We're friends with Denali. She has a podcast. All the YouTubers that we're friends with. And there's enough, and there's no one who has, what's the word? Like, I'm just a friend. I'm not famous or anything like that. I'm just Leslie. I'm Leslie from Philly, Yeah. And as they say in Philly, I'm a Philly John, So other than that, that's it. And so I love this. I love saying, "Oh, I know this person," and not in a braggy kind of way. Like I can tell you, I met Jack and Ryan. I haven't just been on the.
They're my personal friends.
But when I met them, I can say I met Bill and Tori. I can say, I met Blake. I can say I met Steven, fashion guru, So it's like I can say that,
I love that everyone's commenting on Lori's voice. I tell this all the time, like, Lori, when I fall asleep, I put your video on because when I go to sleep,
I'm like, sing me a lullaby. That's how I feel. It's like, oh my gosh, that's why she's where she is. And the funny thing about Lori, Daniela and I were talking about it, and Lori tells this story where she was at like 4,000 subscribers or something, and her 16-year-old.
Oh, here's Lori right now.
Lori, hey, we were just
talking about you.
And she was saying how her son, right, Lori Rocco, was like, Mom, you need to get monetized. And here she is. Congratulations, Lori. She's at 11,000 subscribers, right? She is she's doing super wonderful things. I love you, Lori. And we were talking about how we met and how you and Daniela started your podcast. And I was just talking about how beautiful this community is, but yes. So amazing, so amazing. She said, "What you say, Maria? What happens? Holly, what happens in Leslie's hotel room ends up on the podcast."
It was a really good episode. What episode number was that? That was
I don't know. And I taped. It's a snippet on the YouTube channel because I had erased a lot of my content for some reason. I don't know.
You see Ryan's comment. Lori, make an ASMR video.
Oh, no.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah, Lori is amazing. Yeah, her ears are burning. There you go. But it just shows we're all family, and we just love each other.
It's so funny when I post that little snippet. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's fine. We can still be friends. But I posted a little. I had no idea I was logging on. We were literally talking about you for like 20 minutes. Literally 20-minute conversation about Lori. I posted like a little snippet of what I was working on, and it was the ebook workbook. And Lori immediately texted me. She's like, "Are you doing a course?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Courses
she was so excited.
That's a whole nother animal right there. Because I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to put out 3 more ebooks next year. Like I set it and forget it. I had thought about doing courses. It's just a lot. I mean, you never know. And Danielle is a teacher. But it's a lot of work because the courses
I will confirm or deny if I have a course in the works.
Right. But see, the courses now, a lot of people want to see video. They don't want to see, just films going by. So you have to really be interactive with it. Because if I'm going to pay money for a course, I need you at the thing pointing stuff out and really breaking it down for me. So I'm like, yeah, I'll think about it. That's why I got a teleprompter app and different things. But you never know. I got a lot of books in the works. So I like the set it and forget it kind of thing. I can sell. Look, I sold 900 ebooks last year, and the year isn't even over, baby. So there you go.
That's awesome. I have no idea. I have no expectations for this ebook. Literally zero.
I had no expectations for anything that's happening to me, Daniela. This is all like, are you kidding me kind of stuff, So like, how are you feeling about that? How are you feeling, Lori, about like what's going on? Lori, how are you feeling about like just your YouTube channel, how that's blown up, and then your collaboration with Daniela while she's answering Daniela? How are you feeling about everything that's happened to you from the time did you even think that anyone would listen to your podcast aside from
that was the big question, right? Like Lori and I are like, even if 10 people listen, we'd be happy. Even if 100 people listen, we'd be happy, right? And now we have like anywhere between like 1,000 to 1,500 people every week, which is great. I mean, that's more than we would ever, hope for, with lots of room to grow. But I never set expectations, like definite expectations. I set expectations for myself and what the product that I want to deliver. Right. But I don't set expectations in terms of where I think it should be when something happens. I always have of course we have goals and like where we'd like to be, but I never set the bar like it has to be at this point because anything can happen. We talked about this in the episode that launched on Monday, and I know Lori will probably agree. We are both very thankful for everything that's happened to us this past year. A lot of growth, which has been great, a lot of creativity, and I think learning to take things slow. In not like in terms of things that I'm working on, that kind of stuff, but just like understanding the process a little bit better, and that the slow growth is really the best growth, and that even if you have a viral post or a viral video or something like that doesn't mean anything, and that's just an instant gratification that you'll get, but that fades. So it's that constant just constant working and just slowly producing the things that you want to produce.
Oh, thank you, Holly. Holly gave me a super chat. I love super
There's
chat.
your coffee.
I am monetized now. And see, that's also the key also to what we're talking about. I everything that I do, there's no intention. Like when I wrote the ebook, I was like writing it, not knowing that I would make sales, because our community can be good and bad in a lot of ways. You don't know what's going to be received. So the key is, if you do something that fulfills you, the rest will come. If you build it, they will come, because you're not building it with the intention for them. You're building it because there's something that you have to say and you want to get it out. And whether it be visual or whether it be auditory, that's what I did. Every day I have something to say and I put it out. And I think it's really important to share that. Heidi saying, I read somewhere that although we may feel like this was a lost year, we are all stronger and grew. To me, it wasn't. This has been the most incredible years of my life. This has been such a year of pivoting, such a year of growth, such a year of reflection, such a year of just being thankful. My thing that I've been saying a lot lately is every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present. I can't speak for people who have gone through challenges aside from me, because I can only speak for me. I can't, I can love them and whatever, but in my life, this has been a year of phenomenal growth. And even what Daniela is doing, she's talking about her ebook and everything. I have been doing things that have nothing to do with the reselling community, because at least 300 of those books were from, I call them Main Street people. I have been on 6 other podcasts that aren't even reselling related. And that's what it is. And it's also accepting the challenge and saying, oh, I'm not saying I'm a reseller and I don't want that opportunity. You should take every opportunity that goes your way, because you don't know who's going to be knocking at your door, who's going to be sending you that DM. Don't be afraid to open it. So I haven't expected any of this. And that's why I love seeing the growth of everyone. Like I see like Jack holding up that big $100,000 check from Poshmark, and watching Nikki do her thing, and Vandy's blowing up, and Quimby's going from whatever to she's going, Sarah's doing stuff with her dashboard. I don't mind shouting out people, because I'm not in competition but anyone but myself. Every day it's a battle for me to make sure I'm the best person every single day. So if you think that way, I love everybody. Because if I had a problem with Daniela, she wouldn't be on here, And I don't think Daniela, but I'm just putting it out there, because this, we have. Oh, you both have podcasts. I think their podcast is way better than mine. So it's just like, it's a whole different kind of
different.
Thing. It's
a whole like Denali has a podcast. There's so many people that have podcasts that are in the reselling world, but we're all a little different. And there's no harm in liking that. Yeah, I know.
Yes. Yeah, it's and it's room for everyone. And then, so 2021, what everyone should be trying to do is forget 2020. 2020 should have opened your eyes. If it's done nothing, it should have opened your eyes to finances. That should be the biggest thing right there. No one's secure. That last year people could say, oh yeah, I do this as a hobby because my husband's the breadwinner. Girl, I used to say, you still shouldn't think that way anyway. You should still be making it a business, because your husband could be out of a position. So you still just have to think in terms of, realistic. Think realistically, because anything can happen. Nothing's guaranteed. Everybody's replaceable. Right. And in the time of COVID, and Daniela knows that just about more than anyone else, because your regular job is what, Daniela?
So I am a state employee, and I work in the unemployment and temporary disability unit for my state. So
she's seeing it all.
It's sad because we're hiring for various positions, and just to see some of the applications that come in, and people with like PhDs applying for entry level positions because they just need to work, right? Wow. They've never collected before, and this is just so strange to them, and they just need a job. So there's a lot. So we have a lot to be fortunate about. Also, Jack said he wishes that he could have a podcast. Just do it, Jack. You could absolutely do a podcast.
First of all, I don't even start with the two of them. Like, you could talk, everyone says that, but it's,
I don't know what we would talk about. Literally everything you talk about when you YouTube.
That's what I was going to say. Just talk about like just talk about, and then like like if Ryan's in school and he's too busy, then you can take off that. We do like Lori and Daniela do, and you can have guests. If you don't want to have guests, you can just do it yourself, because having guests, it does become a lot. You got to schedule and do things, and make sure you're there. And even if you're not feeling good, you're still on with your guests and all that. Mm-hmm. So that's why I've kind of like chilled with mine. So I tape like the YouTubes and stuff like that and download them, but that's still.
Well, I was going to say that Jack and Ryan, you could totally record your YouTube channels.
They're hysterical.
Especially the funny ones that you do where you talk about different brands and all that kind of stuff. Like, you could absolutely do that and then record it.
Yeah, there's definitely so much room for everyone. And take Daniela's advice, because she is right. You can just just do that. Just do Anchor. And Heidi says, oh yes, you're right. It's mostly silence on your vids. Yeah.
Heidi's funny. So Heidi was on the podcast. Heidi is like the eBay queen, in my opinion. And now she has a YouTube channel, and I'm so excited that she has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we'll be checking you out, Heidi. I've been actually, as when we do these lives and when I'm on other people's lives, I'm like, oh, so-and-so has a YouTube channel now, and then I'll go and subscribe. Now, I don't subscribe to everybody. Heidi's my girl. I subscribe to Heidi. It's been a couple other people that I've subscribed to, so don't get offended if I don't. And it's just because it's so many people. We're all starting to pop up with videos, which is awesome. Please, I would just say create your own thing. Like I could, like my videos, like everything that I'm doing just happened by accident. I was so happy. I'm happy to be monetized. I'm not rich. Which is Denali say it's 1,000 pennies or something like that. Yeah. So I'm not making a lot, but just the fact that I'm monetized has been like, that surprised me. It was such an incredible thing that I'm still going to I just show up every day and still do what I want to do. Because I could look at my numbers and go, I don't have a lot of views, but I am monetized. There's people been around longer than me, and they only have like two. I just followed somebody yesterday. They have 238 subscribers. They've been around for a year, and then like their first set of videos, they have like 500 views and stuff. But I'm like, wow, I have 1,400 subscribers, and I'm monetized. Because I'm showing up every single day and I'm just having fun. And I'm pretty sure Jack didn't realize that he was going to be monetized. He's just having fun showing his items. And it's also about personality. Like Lori, I can go to sleep with Lori's videos, and Jack and Ryan, I can laugh all day long. Oh
my God. I love it. I love sitting there with the premieres.
Oh my gosh. That right there, the comedian that they are.
Sometimes I just sit there, and if the volume's off, I just look at Ryan's face the whole time, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Oh my gosh. Like, you can't make that up. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. No, between Ryan's face and his haircut, because sometimes I'm like, what is Jack got under that hat? But then with Ryan, because are you hiding a bad hair day, Jack? Or you just like the hat? But then Ryan, I'm looking to find out, what does his hair look like and what kind of expression is he going to have on his face? So it's just, you guys, it's enough for everyone. I definitely say, what are they saying over here? It says,
Jack,
I will say, I think Leslie's podcast was the first Jack and I ever went on. Yes, loves. Leslie, we should do a part 2 anytime, darlings. I love you so much. If you guys haven't checked out Jack Valentine's YouTube channel, he and Ryan, they do What Souls and different things like that, but they did a collab. Lori was a part of the collab for Halloween, Your Scariest Bins, and I happened to be on here talking about my anaphylactic day when I realized I had bad allergies and almost choked to death at the bin. And Lori went all in. Some people went all in with the spooky music and all that stuff, and I just came out with the mask and 11. But definitely everyone here should be following everyone.
Yeah, I like that Ryan said that they should do the podcast episodes on the Oh My God, the Who Wears This.
Oh my God.
And they're hysterical. Like, they're good.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. So definitely everyone. So everyone, real quick before Daniela, we're going to take our last couple of minutes. Drop your handles in there. If you have a YouTube channel, just raise your hand or say, yes, I have a YouTube channel. Just because you have a name doesn't mean, like Ryan said. I know, Ryan, I wouldn't be here today, love, right? I live to talk about it, and I still kept going back to the bins. So it couldn't have been that bad, right? But definitely everyone. You said, what? Holly, what? She said, my car got towed my last trip to the bins.
That's a story.
Wow. Ours is a private parking lot, so that's not going to.
My car got towed at the bins. I'd have a real problem. I'd be calling Lori up. really quick and saying, can you drive the 40 minutes to come get me and then take me home?
Yeah, so that definitely was a great video. But everyone, drop real quick your YouTube's in there. We should all be subscribing. We should all be following each other on Instagram. This is what a community does. We support each other. Ryan is Ryan's Thrift on Insta. Definitely check him out. I love his photos. Oh, that kimono that you have. Ryan. I still love Jack's from that purple one that he wore to Posh Fest. That's still my favorite. But that one Ryan had on today was really nice.
Love you too, Jack. Also, Jack is going to be back on the podcast at some point in the very near future. We just got to make it at a time. We're going to talk all things luxury and the real. It's very, very requested. So
very nice. There we go. Most people know who you are. Brunch with Diva. So you should be checking out Rhonda. She has tomorrow. Who's on Brunch with Diva with you tomorrow, Rhonda? Every Wednesday, Brunch with Diva. It's brunch. So it is 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. I always forget, and sometimes I miss it. I have a podcast. I should know. I have to keep track of that, right? With all the different, the East Coast and the West Coast, and I get with like Sarah, even Quimby, she was going live at 5, but I'm like, is that her 5 or our 5? Until I got the notification said, oh, she was going in a half hour, and I was like, okay, good. So she won't miss this. He said, my Dolly Parton jacket. Oh my gosh,
so pretty.
Oh my gosh,
I loved it.
Awesome. So everyone, I just want to thank Daniela for coming on. Daniela, anything you want to say to everybody? Vandy's Closet. I think everyone should take these next few weeks to just reflect on all the goods, all the highs and lows that we talked about on the podcast this week of 2020. And I think you'll be surprised that there's way more highs than there are lows that you've experienced this year. And it could be something as simple as you mastered a recipe that you've always wanted to do. I mean, it doesn't have to be always work related, right? So I'm sorry. I'll come on as your guest tomorrow. Rhonda, she's at my guest. I don't know.
But yeah, just take this time in December. I think it's a good time to just plan and reflect, and don't be hard on yourself, and enjoy the next few weeks. And yeah, stay tuned for lots of great things that Leslie has coming her way, that we all have coming our way.
I was going to say Daniela has a lot of great things coming. I do. I'm chilling. What I'm doing right now is I had to take self-reflection. So many people, think that I'm constantly going. And I also I'm not old, but I am older. I'm 51. So my body starts to talk to me, and I really wasn't taking care of myself properly. So now I'm eating right. I'm starting exercising, and I'm also really focusing on my reselling more than anything right now. I talk about it less. I took like a couple $1,000s and paid off the rest of my daughter's tuition. She doesn't have any student loans. So now I want to make that money back so they can go back, and then I can make some money on top of that. So that's why I use List Perfectly. You guys should check me out on Thursday on List Perfectly.
Thursday, you're going to be live.
7 p.m. and then I'll be getting off of there and jumping back onto a live here on Thursday. They only do 40 minutes, so it works out perfectly.
Yeah.
I have everything set up and ready to go. And thankfully, that's on the IG. This is where the trouble is, this YouTube live. So definitely just do a reflection. So I'm reflecting, and I'm saving all the other business stuff because I have a lot of stuff coming. This coming year, I have a lot of stuff coming. This year, 2019 was awesome. 2020 was great. People have been through some stuff. Look, my son came home. I hadn't seen him. I hadn't seen my baby in a year and a half. So that too, he came in, and it was such a surprise. Not kind of, sort of, but yeah. but that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. For me, 2020, I had the chance of having all my children, and the thing that really kind of irked me a little bit. Yes, we're going through the time of COVID. We have to really be careful. But I had people literally sending me hate DMs because I had announced that my son had came home and that all my children would be together. And people were sending me, why are you having people in your, literally, like, first of all, why is it your concern? But like, I was like, wow, hello. And I'm like 51. I think I'm aware of, I don't even leave my house hardly, but that bothered me. That really bothered me that people were really upset that my children, because actually before I knew Craig was coming, I had said, like I told Thomas, like, his children couldn't come, I wasn't going to do it. But once Craig, I couldn't tell his sisters not to come.
Right.
It was a chance that we had to take. And Craig's in the military. He knows what he needs to do in order to protect himself. So, and my girls, they know. I have 2 that are essential workers. They work in healthcare facilities. So, like, mind your business, people. You know, I hadn't seen my son. If you haven't seen your son in a year, death would have been, you know, hey, that's my kid. So anyway, to take us out on a lively note, just like Daniela said, just look forward to the new year. We're almost there. We're almost there. My heart and my prayers are with people who have lost and been through challenges in 2020. And what I would like to say is that we're still here. We're still here. We're here to hold all the memories and the wonderful things that all the other people who have left behind. We live for them. We live for them. And 2021 is going to be awesome. So
everything's going to be fine.
Obviously, if someone's sick but safe, but stay in your lane. Exactly. Even at home, like I was getting to the point, like if somebody was sniffling, that it was actually automatic that even my son will like put on his mask because he has allergies. And I said to him, before you go to the airport, take a Zyrtec or something.
Right.
Nothing to tell you can't get on the plane and go back to the base.
No,
like I'm going to explain to your commanding officer.
If you suffer from allergies, then you understand. This year has been really difficult. If you suffer from allergies, first of all, allergies have been crazy this year.
Yes.
But if you suffer from allergies, a lot of the symptoms for allergies,
exactly,
COVID symptoms. So
I'm the same way because I have to, like that same story I told, I have to do Flonase, a Zyrtec, and I have more so because weight. My seasonal allergies plus my weight, I have to use an inhaler sometimes. I only do that every now and then. But if you're out, that person doesn't know. And the hard thing about life right now is you can't even have a regular cold now without everybody going, wait a minute, did you check the symptoms? Are you okay? I'm like, it's a cold.
Why are you sneezing?
Yes, I get a cold every year and I have allergies every year. Thank you, Terry. But yes, seriously.
Ryan, I coughed in Target today and thought I was going to be escorted out. Yeah, I've been there too. When this first started happening, I think I sneezed. I forgot where I was, and I sneezed, and everyone turned and they looked at me.
Oh my gosh!
No,
Thomas has had a cold. He gets a cold every year because he used to be a firefighter, so it gets in his lungs. So for like a week, it'll be a bad cold.
Yeah.
So you can imagine. And he's not staying home. He's still going out. We were in the alley yesterday, and I was like, "Oh my God, sweetie, don't be
near me. Don't
be near me. Don't be near me because if you call, I don't know him because it was rough. It's like in his chest because that's because of all the smoke he inhaled over the years. But they don't know that he sounded like this. You know?
Oh God!
And I was like, "Oh my God, they're going to kick us out."
You need to leave, sir.
I was waiting for something, but then he's this big guy though, like like, yeah, I don't want to take the chance, you know.
Funny.
Oh, Cynthia, I'm so glad you joined us. We're about to leave, but I thank you, friend. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Cynthia? You said your husband has allergies and he does not leave our house. I leave that often. I went out twice. Sunday I went out and yesterday I went out. But I actually try to only go out. Friday is usually my day, once a week, because it's just, to me, like worth it to, go out, work from home. I think that's what people should do. If you don't really have to go somewhere, we have Thomas is our main person that goes somewhere. I give him a list. Every time he goes to the store, you need something or whatever, one of us needs to go out. And that's it. So friends, I want to thank you for joining us. Daniela, thank you for coming on. I love you, friend.
Anytime.
Look at that face. Look at that face and that beautiful haircut that she just got.
I know, which is going to last.
Where are my friends at today? Marco and Sophia, where?
Hold on. We're going to end the video with the cat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to grab her. She's sleeping on the bed.
Oh.
But I have a Sophia.
Hello, Sophia. Oh, darling.
Look at her.
Hello.
Why'd you wake me for this? Look at her face.
I know, yes. I can't wait till I move because I'm getting a meat kitty. Might get two. Thomas is not going to like it, but I might get two. Allergies this year. I think there are just.
I'm allergic to them, but I don't care.
Poof.
Highly allergic to cats. Don't care.
Doesn't she look beautiful, Ryan?
Oh, thank you.
Seriously.
All right, go back.
Thank you guys for joining.